Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Module 2 of GRA 2200. This is Kim Grable. I'm your instructor for this this class. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. um, this this presentation should go fairly quickly because we only have two assignments and they're relatively simple. So I want to go through them, introduce you to a couple of things, and then we'll wrap it up. So here we go. Again, this is module two. This to give you a bit of a background. Um, this assumes that you have some HTML and CSS experience, and you do if this is your second class. Um, so just if you run into something that is a little new to you or perturbing, be sure and reach out to me and I will help you with it. I sound a little strange again. Module two, I had surgery and they cut from behind the ear all the way down to the sort of the middle of the neck. And it's not too attractive looking right now. Uh, I should get stitches out and all that other stuff tomorrow. So I'll make my next appearance, hopefully in module three. But all went well. And now I have to do physical therapy because I had a tumor under the ear, and it was very large, larger than they anticipated, of course. And so they had to cut a few nerves and reroute them. So now I have to train, well, I don't have to, but a physical therapist will train my face to re-engage, I guess. So right now, I feel like I look like Marty Feldman in Young Frankenstein, with the stitches and everything. So Module 2 has two assignments, like I mentioned to you, and it's your first real introduction to media queries and responsive web pages. The first of the two assignments requires the use of, I don't want to say Dreamweaver, but any kind of code editor that you like to use. Now, I know you had Dreamweaver in a first class, so many of you probably have some experience in Dreamweaver. I've also been told that many students just don't like using Dreamweaver, and I really can get on board with that because I try very hard not to use it. So I'm going to recommend that if you know it well, use it. If you don't, you might want to look at some suggestions that I have for you as far as what to use. Basically, what you're doing is you're taking code, just regular old code, and you're changing it to be responsive, and you're also adding some attributes like photos. And you have file folders in module two that has all this information for you. It has your photos, it has everything. So be sure to look at that carefully. You can absolutely use Dreamweaver if you're comfortable in it. I just wanted to show you these other sites, mostly because when I give an assignment and I think you might be new to, for instance, this particular type of responsive design, then I kind of give you at least some of the answers. Um, Code is open source, and I'm sure you know what that means. You can't steal and you can't take a person's drawings and type that they've created and anything that's art based or design based. But code is code. Code is open source, meaning, wow, I really like how such and such did that particular layout. So I'm going to look at his code, and if I can steal some of that code, I will. And you don't really steal it, you cut or you copy rather, and then paste and see if it works. That's some of the basics, I guess, of CodePen. CodePen is I use it all the time. Well, I don't use it all the time, but I use it a lot, mostly because it's so easy to use and I can see what I'm doing as I do it. And let me show you what I'm giving you as far as links where you can get the code that you need. And all you need to do is basically just know which code to copy. So let's get you going here. This is CodePen. This is my account, one of them. And the assignments that you have this week are two websites. You have this website, and it's called Welcome to Moonlight Theater. It's a concert series website. As you see, there are photos that, obviously you need to put into place. I've put them in this particular uh, oh, um, this particular version. You can take, and this is why I did it, you can take all of this code and use it. It's yours to use. It's all okay, but you've got to do a couple of things. And I left a couple of things for you to do, um, mostly because I think you have to do a few sort of original tasks. The first task you'll have is to knock out the background to the logo. So here's the logo right here. There it is. And it's a PNG. Now, what do you know about PNG? It has sometimes it can have a transparent background, right? Usually it does, but it's not vector based, it's raster based. So you possibly need a SV, what is it? I just drew a blank. An Illustrator format or anything with an index color that basically doesn't change at all. But the background can go away. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Um, SVG, sorry. Um, Let me show you, first of all, here are the image information or the image photos in place. So let me show you that real quick. Let's move coffee out of the way. And the way CodePen is set up is you have your HTML to the far left, your CSS is center, and your JavaScript is to the right. In this particular assignment, you don't need JavaScript and therefore you don't use it. Um, okay, so you have text and dates. You have these photos that you already possess. There they are. And then you're going to add some copy, and it's spelled out for you in the folder for Project One or uh, the concert venue project. Now, this may be a dumb question, but how do you get your photos from your folder to this website? There's a very, very simple way, and let me show you that really quick. There is a free, and it really is free. Um, you know how you think, oh, gee, this is free, so I will just take, I'll do a 30-day trial, and then in 30 days you've forgotten, and you're presented with a bill for $180 for the year. And you just, hey, I don't want that. I just wanted to see the new software. Well, this particular program or place online is called Postscript dot io or Postscript, and it helps if you spell it correctly. There we go. Postscript also .org. Very simple to remember. I will send that with you. Did I spell it wrong? Uh, I'll give that to you when, let's reload it and see if it'll respond. Okay. Let's go back. Wonder what's going on. I just used it literally about 10 minutes ago. Postscript. Let's try org. That's not working either. So let me see if I can get it to work in another place. Here it is. Here is CodePen. And here is the information from post-image or post-image. I don't know how you say it, but let's try again. I probably didn't spell it right. I said postscript. Duh. Post-image or image.org. There it is. Simple, simple, simple. And it's free. So if you want to store files here, and I don't store any, but you might want to. It's very easy. So just open a free account. If you just want to make your files uh, viewable on your web page, then choose your image. And let's see, where could I choose an image? Let's look here. Let's take, this is for my drawing class, and some of these are okay. Some of them, they're all mine, so they're not students. Students works much better. Let's use this one. I think you can see it okay. And let's move you out of the way. Come on, move. Well, okay, we'll just maximize and, and then the image went away. So let's try this again. Okay? All right. No, we're not. We're staying here. I'm so sorry. This is so frustrating. Let's do this and see if it'll just open. There it goes. Okay. There it is. You have an image, and it's sort of out of focus because the screenshot was sort of out of focus. So let's go back, and we'll go back to the first page, and you choose your image, you put an image in and open it, and there's your image. Okay. Now, in order to get it from here to your web page, go to the direct link, copy this, and then you can go back to your web page and add it in where it says image source. And you probably already know how to do that. Let me see if it'll let me add it. Yep, there it is. So postimage.org or really anything. I would go with org. IO will work, that kind of thing. But it will definitely work for you. So there we go. So what else are you doing? Well, you're putting in all these files that are images. There they all are. Again, they're in your file folder in Module 2. You're adding some text, and basically that's all you're going to do, except you're going to fix or essentially get rid of this background. Okay? So if you don't know how to get rid of a background in a PNG, you may have to switch to an SVG. But do some, I left a few things for you to do simply because I didn't want to just hand it to you. So this is your first assignment, okay? The concert venue. Pretty simple, not too worrisome as far as what you're doing. Okay, go away. All right, so those are your essentially your instructions for assignment one. And again, if you want to go to my code pen and use my um, code, you absolutely can. You may have to do some correcting and, changing, but use it. Why not? Saves time, and I think it will help you understand the code a little better. Okay, so this is the website for a homepage for a ticket, for tickets or a concert venue. That's your first assignment. Okay, so one thing I want to make sure you know, alt attribute is an HTML attribute that provides a textual description of an image. Um, why do you need that? Because it's crucial for web accessibility. So let's say you put like the logo or one of the photos, okay? You're going to also add in your code uh, some kind of text that describes that photo. And it allows screen readers to describe images to visually impaired users, and it will also display if an image fails to load. So it will kind of cover you if you fail to load an image, but it also helps if you need help with like a screen reader. Okay? Type you will need to add is right down here. It's not a lot, but these are very specific instructions to help you. Here's a just a little quick exactly what I just showed you how to use post image. Okay, so you can play that if you want. Um, and remember, all that does is add those images to the web. That's why you don't have to, do anything special with them, and you don't even have to have an account. Eventually, they just sort of go away after a number of days. Second assignment, you'll be adding HTML and CSS to a provided single page website. And this website is an exhibits page for a museum. And let me show you that. Um, First of all, when you get to looking at the museum webpage, read through this carefully. It explains what a media query is. It hopefully it explains it relative to responsive websites. And it does. And it also just allows you how to check media queries, where you go, how you build them. It's actually fairly simple if you don't know or if you've never done it. Okay. And there is a pretty decent web link that you might want to go to just for an explanation. Let me show you that really quick. It's W3 Schools, and they're just wonderful. You know, they just really, really explain things so well. So you may want to look here as well. Most of this is in your text that I've written here. So assignment 2, part 2, you are going to write 3 media queries with the following breakpoints. Do you know what a breakpoint is? A breakpoint is when your screen changes relative to the size of the screen. For instance, if you've got a web page that's all spread out and it's got like 10 photos and it's really, whiz bang, and you want to put that website on mobile access, then obviously you're going to have to realign some photos or get rid of some. Those are relative to media queries and responsiveness. When you were first able to build and read um, websites on a cell phone, if you remember, it was awful because they didn't have this way of building a page relative to the size of your mobile phone. And now you have that for iPhone and Android. And it's made a huge difference. If you look like 5 years ago, you probably used your laptop or your tablet and you didn't use your mobile phone quite as much, especially to go online. But now, I find it's weird to have to go and get my computer out because I'm so used to using the phone. I use the phone for everything. Um, and I'm sure that you will realize that and sort of you'll be able to relate to that. So you're going to write these 3 media queries, and here's the first one, and it tells you how to write it, and it even shows you what it should look like. This is the part 1. Here's the first one. The second one, you're going into CSS and making a style change. And it has to be more than 1201 pixels. Notice here you're a different measurement. Second media query is larger. And then your third, as you can see, is constrained by a minimum and a maximum size. You can also look up an Android size phone, say the one perhaps you carry, or an iPhone as well. Now, when you get to XD, you won't be necessarily using code. You'll be using numbers and text, and it'll be much more what you see is what you get, which makes me like it even more. But some people really enjoy coding. Um, and that's great because someone has to do it, right? Okay, so a couple of things I want to mention, and then we are done. Before you submit, make sure to resize the live view in Dreamweaver to test that your media queries are working properly. If you're working in CodePen, just drag your page to the lower right bottom corner to the upper left corner, and basically you're just looking to see if the page reconfigures. Um, I know you know what that means, but let me show you. Let's say this is obviously a web page size. And if we're looking at, as you see, it's reorganizing everything. And then boom, you see that breakpoint. You don't have the sound effect that I provide. Um, that's your tablet size. You see things have kind of been organized again. A reorganize is another good word for that. And then let's drag some more. And we got another jump. And that is basically your one of your phone sizes. And the second one here is one's iPhone, one's Android. Okay. So that's, I think, iPhone. And the bigger one is Android. So that's what I mean when I say check to see if your breakpoints work. Obviously, here they work and they work fine. Okay? All right. So, um, let's see what else I have for you. Um, Now, I've given you also an HTML and CSS review. Okay? You do not have to do anything for this. However, it might be very helpful to you if some of this is new to you, like nesting elements and media queries, self-closing. If you don't know anything about semantics in encoding, you might want to look this over. And let me just kind of show you super small little snippets of information, attributes, the Boolean and the practical attributes, the HTML files, and then skeleton code. You may not know what skeleton code is. It's basically always when you're putting in a web page or you're programming or whatever, you must have skeleton code. And it's this here. And in this little snippet from the book, it shows you what a doc type is, what why HTML has to be there, and the HTML lang, the language, because frankly, it's got to tell the browser what kind of language. It's the United, that sounded funny, the United States dialect of English. And then you've got meta. What is a meta? It can be a variety of different attributes. The tag is always self-closing. That's good to know. Um, Character set meta. What keyboard do you use? I mean, I know it sounds kind of lame, but you need to know that. At least your browser does. And then so on and so forth. Okay? It also gives you kind of a quick uh, look at file structure. And you'll be doing this in your SOTD space. So might not be a bad idea to look it over. Okay? Your word or your question for this week, I remembered, see, is um, define attribute and give me an example relative to coding. Okay, very simple. We've talked about it, so that's what I want you to do. And that's all that I really have for this week. Um, Again, two web pages. They are not difficult. I would suggest you go get the code from CodePen, unless you just like to code and you're good at it, and then take it into Dreamweaver and do it there. Or like Visual Studio Code or any kind of code editor, text edit. anything you want to use. All right, so that is everything for tonight. I'm going to make a change because I think this is too late to do a live lecture. So I'll mention it to you in an announcement probably tomorrow. I think it'll actually work a lot better for everyone. So that's all I have. Um, if you have any questions, of course, please contact me. You can text, you can obviously message me. I'm just getting the screens all put together. You can email me. Okay. So that's it. And I will talk with you very soon. Take care. Bye now.